Hey guys, what's up? Loco here. I have another episode of Loco Lets Loose. It's my weekly LCS talking segment. I wore a shirt for it last time because I was going to a dinner, and then I was like, you know what? For Listen Loco, or Loco Lets Loose, rip Listen Loco, I should look more professional. I was like, I'll wear a shirt this time also. So now it's a thing. Every time I do Loco Lets Loose, I will wear a shirt. So anyways, as always, let's talk about all the teams, how I felt about them, some of the problems they had, some of the strong performances they had, and yeah, let's get started. First up, we're going to start with the 2-0 teams. We have Cloud9. I think they're the early frontrunners for winning the LCS. They win their games the right way. They have an incredibly strong early game. Blabber's one of the best jungles right now. All the laners are really good. And they actually have no weak players. I think that is a really big thing. It's nice to have some of the best players in the league, but having a team that's really well-rounded and not having any weak spots and being able to play around all three lanes and having really strong mid-game. They're very mistake-free in mid-game. That's what separates them from a lot of the other LCS teams. And also, the whole Broxah Visa situation cleared such a wide path for them to take first in the regular season at the very least. So yeah, if you're a fan of C9, you're chilling right now. I think it's very, very early, but if I have to pick a team to win the whole thing, it's going to be C9. It is definitely too early of a pick, but I do want to get it out there. Also, I love how their players have been leaning a lot more into being cocky on social media. Zben, Nifki, Licorice, I mean, I've been loving it. Keep up the banter and keep up the great level of play, Cloud9. The other 2-0 team is actually TSM, my favorite team of all time. And I definitely don't think they look as strong as C9, nor did their 2-0 performance mean that much. I think they just drafted better than all their opponents. They actually drafted easy to play teamfight comps where their opponents were just trying to 200 IQ themselves. The two teams they beat this week, Evil Genius and CLG, also went 0-2. So yeah, just don't put that much stock on TSM going 2-0. I do think there is a standout player on the team though. Spring Broken Blade is back. He's looking like the best top in the league right now, and I hope he can really keep up this form. Last year in spring, Broken Blade was such a welcome addition to TSM, comparing it to what Haunter did in 2018. And yeah, Broken Blade just looks really good. He's a carry player. He's okay on tanks also, and I can't wait to see more out of the little guy. Bjerg, on the other hand, is actually a small worry for me. I no longer think he's the clear number one in terms of mid lane. I get that he is sick in the last 2 weeks, but we haven't seen the glimpse of the Bjergsen of the past since spring semis in 2019 versus Cloud9. Also, for Dardog, he's actually not playing well. This one really caught me by surprise because we put so much attention and focus on how he would gel with his team, and we never really questioned if he would have individual performance problem, but that's actually a thing right now. So yeah, TSM fans, let's watch closely. And let's hope Dardog and Bjergsen can be better players than they've been showing in the first 2 weeks. Now, let's move on to the 1-1 teams. So for the first 1-1 team, we have Dignitas. I think Dignitas' hype train is slowing down a bit. Froggen's Echo was definitely not on the same level as rest of his control mage champion pool, and Johnson had his first bad game ever. I think they were really feeling themselves after the 3-0. And I see your tweet, Invert, whatever, do your thing. I think they got really cheeky with the draft and tried something that wasn't really in their comfort. I still think Dig will turn out to be one of the top 4 teams at this rate, but their limitations beyond their comfort is really important. They do need to start trying things like the Echo again or any other pick that Froggen maybe isn't completely comfortable on or isn't completely in his wheelhouse, because giving them that depth is going to be really important going into the future. Now, 100 Thieves also went 1-1, and Meteos' early game and pathing was actually bad, which is surprising to me. Good for them though, their mid game and late game is still better than most of North America. Like that shot calling and the experience coming in from Meteos and Someday is still top notch. I think Ryoma is really like the focal point of this team, and he's just not that great. And things haven't changed that much from last week. The silver lining for them is, at least as a coaching staff, it seems like they know the level of play and the level of fundamentals this team is at, and they drafted easy teamfight comps. So yeah, at least 100 Thieves got away with a 1-1. And we'll see what happens next week. As for Immortals, they also went 1-1. I think they're just not a very exciting team. I don't see them making playoffs. There's no players on this team that really stand out to me, and there's not really interesting storylines on this team that makes me want to cheer for them or watch them that in depth. I do think they have some of the biggest yikes of the LCS. Zabutein was caught arguing with Aika on stage.
They have been making the plays in this game, and that was impressive. Cloud9 looking so good here in these first 3 games.
And also, Yasuo blind into getting booty blasted by Pantheon and the Trundle pick last week. Some of the problems from this team definitely originates from draft, and I wonder how much that is the coaching staff and the players not seeing eye to eye, or maybe the players asking for these picks. We don't know, but Immortals, maybe I'll keep an eye on you. Maybe I'll just ignore you. Now, Golden Guardians. Oh my god, this team, I can actually describe it very, very simply. Closer, good. Keith bad. That's the story of this team. Closer looks to be one of the best junglers in the league. Dardoch, Xmithty, Svenskeren, all these classic North American junglers that are supposed to be great are actually not looking that great right now. The only other really good jungler is Blaver. I think he was a Smurf pickup. They snatched him up when LEC teams wanted him. Most players just pick LEC over LCS because they feel like there's more of a future in playing in LEC. But Closer chose Golden Guardians over the LEC team, and it's been so good for Golden Guardians. This was one of the best pickups of the offseason. I didn't know at the time, but after seeing Closer play, like, props to you, Golden Guardians. On the other hand, the Keith role swap, I called that it would be terrible, and it is fucking god-awful. Like, Keith does not have the right skill set to be a support. He is a dumb, mechanically good player. I think Keith doesn't have the game knowledge, he doesn't have the leadership skill, he cannot read how the game is playing out, and he can't find his place in the game. And I really don't want to blame Keith. I think this is on Golden Guardians. I think they're forcing Keith kind of into a support role. Yes, Keith did agree to the role, but Keith has been stuck in Academy for how long? If you wave an LCS role in front of him, of course he's going to take it. And now he's moving backward in his career. There's no way this swap works out. I know it's still early, but I'm calling it. Keith support is already a failed experiment. And yeah. Now, FlyQuest also went 1-1. Man, all these LCS teams, they win their first game, and then in their second game, they try something, and then they lose. I think they're in a very similar boat to Dignitas. No real special comment on them. Like, they had a good game, and then they had a bad game because they wanted to get cute with the draft. Let's wait it out, see how they pan out. I think the next few weeks are really going to tell us what kind of team FlyQuest is. So the final team we have in the 1-1 category is Team Liquid. I think Team Liquid is in such a pickle right now. The Broxah visa decision is going to be known on Thursday, and if he doesn't get approved, then they're stuck with Shermfire, and I think that actually puts an end to their season. I don't think Shermfire is that great. It doesn't matter that much right now because TL solos are better, but when we do get into best of fives, like some of the weakness that he's showing in terms of pathing and in terms of supporting his laners is really, really going to show. I think he is passable, but not a true replacement. And yeah, the whole thing about TL is they have a star-studded roster, and they had a very simple play towards the bot lane, let's win through teamfight playstyle, but the jungle role made it all happen. Like, Xmithty was such a good glue piece, and Shermfire not being able to fill that role, and Broxah not being here to really help with the mid and jungle 2v2, that's what Broxah was picked up for, is really putting a wrench in TL's plan. I'm really praying for an exciting spring. I think there's a really great team in C9 and a lot of middling team, and I hope TL does get Broxah so he have another great team, and it's not just like C9 winning everything for free. Now, let's move on to the 0-2 teams. I actually think both 0-2 teams, CLG and EG, had the same problems, and we'll talk about that. CLG first. Terrible, god-awful draft. I don't know what Weldon and Song is thinking. They don't understand where their team is. I think Ruin, Wiggly, Stixay are like bottom 5 level LCS players right now. These guys are just god-awful. And Smoothie and Crown are just somewhat okay. It's hard to tell their level just due to how bad their teammates are playing. I think the coaching staff has to see this and draft accordingly. Just stop giving them these priority split push comps. They cannot play it. I can see the frustration building up on some of the players already. So yeah, CLG, just draft correctly, and I promise you, I swear to God, mashallah, like your win rate will skyrocket if you just pick the right comp. Now, finally, we have EG at 0-2. I think EG are too smart for their own good. They want to be that team that plays the game the correct way. They want to be that Korean-like team. They want to play that clean macro League of Legends. They want to get priority in the early game, snowball it smoothly. I mean, they have Irene, they have Bang. I'm sure like that kind of playstyle is talked about all the time on EG, but it's just not good for you guys right now. Keep it simple. You have the same problem as CLG. At least it is way more fixable for your team. You have good early game, you have good mid game, you have way better players in Svenskeren, and also Zizuke has been a pleasant surprise. He's definitely looking more like 2018 Zizuke than 2019 Zizuke. But my god, this team throws so hard. And when you're winning that much and you're better than a lot of the teams you're playing and the scoreline that you're given is 1-3 in the first 2 weeks, it's going to make some of the players extremely frustrated. Let's keep the level of execution a bit easier, stack up the wins, build confidence and comfort with each other, and then you can go try to be smart EG. So I hope you guys enjoyed this week of Loco Lets Loose. Let me know what you want this content to turn into, because right now it's just me talking about all 10 teams and some of the trends and some of the things I've been seeing. It allows me to cover some of the points I missed in face check and also repeat some of the stuff I really want to talk about without any kind of interruption. So I hope you guys enjoy the content. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And one last thing, I'm not crazy, I'm just Loco. Bye!